Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney, and today is Wednesday, August 25th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Today, there is a big story topping the website. Delta Airlines is no longer willing to pay the cost for its employees not being vaccinated against COVID-19. This is after the FDA has granted full approval to the Pfizer vaccine, which you will now hear referred to by its commercial name, Comirnaty. So what we are seeing now is Delta is not going as far as United Airlines, which is saying that it will terminate its employees who don't get vaccinated by late September, but they are saying they'll be charging employees on the company health plan $200 a month. That's a significant amount of money if they fail to get vaccinated against COVID-19. This is a policy that the airline's top executive says is necessary because the average hospital stay for an employee who is being treated for COVID-19 costs the airline around $48,000, and that is not a cost that they are willing to take on anymore now that the vaccine has been fully approved by the FDA. CEO Ed Bastian said that all employees who have been hospitalized for the virus in recent weeks have not been fully vaccinated. So the airline is saying today that it will stop extending pay protection to unvaccinated workers who contract COVID-19 starting September 30th, so a little over a month away, and will require unvaccinated workers to be tested weekly. That'll be beginning September 12th, so sooner for those weekly testing requirements, but Delta will cover the cost of the weekly testing, and they will have to wear masks at all indoor company settings. Now, Delta isn't the only company that is making kind of policy changes related to the FDA fully approving that Pfizer and BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. Ohio State University students, staff, and faculty will also be required to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. That message came out yesterday from President Christina Johnson. She said that the decision was directly tied to the FDA giving full approval for the Pfizer vaccine. So they'll be required to receive that first dose by October 15th. And for people who are getting a 2-dose vaccine, again, that'll be the Pfizer, or now being referred to as the Comirnaty vaccine, or the Moderna vaccine. That second shot has to be done by November 15th. Now, even though the Pfizer vaccine is the only one that's been fully approved by the FDA, Ohio State University is saying that both the Moderna or the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be accepted to meet this requirement. President Johnson said that the university is taking this step because vaccines are the safest and most effective form of protection against COVID-19. The president of Ohio State University also said that the Delta variant is the virus that's fueling this resurgence of COVID-19 cases, hospitalizations, and even though people can still get COVID-19 if they are vaccinated, you're much less likely to be hospitalized and less likely to pass it on to other people. That's according to what we've seen medical professionals say about COVID-19 and the Delta variant. So now let's take a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers here in Ohio from the Ohio Department of Health. More news about cases surging here in Ohio. There have been 4,600 new reported COVID-19 cases in the last day, according to the Ohio Department of Health. That is the largest daily increase since January. Remember, that's when vaccines were not widely available to people here in the state of Ohio. And this is the second day in a row that we've seen over 4,000 new COVID-19 cases. Right now, there are 2,142 people who are hospitalized being treated for COVID-19. That's an increase of 45 from yesterday. And out of those 2,142 people in the hospital, 617 of them are being treated in an intensive care unit. That's 8 more people from what we saw yesterday. Switching gears now to Cuyahoga County, a trial has started for the former Cuyahoga County Jail director who's accused of hiding safety problems at the jail. We're talking about former Cuyahoga County Jail Director Ken Mills. That started today with opening statements. He's facing charges of tampering with records, falsification, and dereliction of duty, and some of the claims made against him are pretty difficult to hear. 3 News reported last summer that this indictment against him, which he is now on trial for, followed a 2018 report by the U.S. Marshal's Office that found inmates were being treated inhumanely, including not being given proper medical care. Peter Elliott, U.S. Marshal for the Northern District of Ohio, called this a serious problem and said that the system appeared to be broken. The indictment came down in October of 2019, and the allegations are that Mills made the jail unsafe, that he failed to observe any lawful and reasonable regulation for the management of the detention of the facility, and there are claims that he negligently failed to provide people confined in that detention facility with adequate food, clothing, bedding, shelter, and medical attention. One claim came from former jail nursing supervisor Gary Brack. Here is how Gary Brack described it. He said that they had paraplegics, quadriplegics in the jail, and that there were no staff there to turn these inmates over every couple of hours to prevent bed sores. That's the kind of dereliction of duty that he is accused of, and that's what we'll be on trial for when that opens. You know, that opened up today again with those opening statements. Now, Mills resigned in 2018 after those allegations came to light. Now, we streamed the opening statements on WKYC.com, so if you want to see them in their entirety, you can watch that on WKYC.com. And now, after that, since it is Wednesday, it's time for a good news break. On Wednesday at 1 p.m., that's when we drop It's All Good News. That's the show that we put out with our incredible executive producer, Meg Hambaugh. I host it every Wednesday, 1 p.m. on the WKYC YouTube page. Today is no exception, and there is a lot of good news in there. We are talking about the incredible story of a Paralympic athlete, a medal winner, by the way, multiple medals, and how that person has gone on to overcome just incredible injuries, and what they're doing now and where you'll be able to see that person. Also, a very protective pup. This is the video that everyone is watching on TikTok right now. You're going to want to see it. It is absolutely ridiculous, and it's absolutely adorable. And an incredible story of a woman who lost an engagement ring on the beach, in the water, and the person who really just jumped at the opportunity to help her find it and how that came to pass. So check that out. That's on the WKYC YouTube page. It's linked at WKYC.com/itsallgoodnews. And if you're watching this on the WKYC website or the WKYC app or the YouTube page, you can find that article linked in the comments, in the show notes. Okay, moving on to our next story. University Hospital is doing something incredible. They're introducing a Food for Life market, which gives patients access to food necessities. Now, this is a big deal because food insecurity is a huge deal in Northeast Ohio right now. We have seen our Greater Cleveland Food Bank and the demand that there has been when they're having these drive-throughs where you can get food in the municipal lot here by Cleveland Browns First Energy Stadium. They said that the demand is just, it's incredible. It's more than they've seen, and it hasn't slowed down. So here's something else that's happening for people who are in need. University Hospitals has its new UH Food for Life market at UH Cleveland Medical Center. It opened up today. This is part of a holistic nutrition program that helps people address, as we said, food insecurity. It will also help to address chronic health conditions that might be impacted by access to healthy food, because if you don't have access to that healthy food, it can be tough to live a healthy life and take the best care of your health that's possible. So this market, it'll feature fresh and frozen foods and vegetables, meat, whole grains, and more. And I want to share a quote with you from a documentary that I watched about healthy eating. It said, "The food that you eat can either be the best form of medicine or the slowest form of poison." So for people who don't have access, of course, all of us, everything in moderation, we're going to treat ourselves to things. But if you don't have access to that healthy food and you're not eating it, not for lack of wanting to, but just because you don't have access, this is something that University Hospitals is doing to try and combat that. Speaking of combat, let's talk about Jake Paul coming here on Sunday. He's fighting Tyron Woodley at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. That's kicking off at 8 p.m. on Sunday. We've been talking about it all week. I had him as a guest on my 3 Things to Know podcast. Well, you remember that bet that he made with Tyron Woodley? His bet was whoever loses that fight has to get a tattoo that says, "I love the winner," on their body. Well, I asked Jake, I was like, what are you going to do to make sure that that happens? And if you've been paying attention to what's being talked about online, Tyron Woodley is also already trying to walk that back, but he did agree publicly at a press conference that he would do it if he lost. And Jake Paul agreed too that he would do it if he lost. Well, in order to make that happen, Jake Paul is going to have a tattoo artist. Her name is Tattoo Baby, T-A-T-U Baby, on site. And he says he's going to send her to Tyron Woodley's locker room after the fight if he wins to get that tattoo. And by the way, Tattoo Baby posted the designs on Instagram today. You can see those linked at WKYC.com. They look pretty great. I mean, I don't know if I would want "I love the winner" tattooed on my body. Actually, I can promise you that I wouldn't want that. But if I had to get it, These tattoo designs are pretty great. So if you want to check that out, head to wkyc.com/3thingsto know and listen to the full interview with Jake Paul. He's got a lot of surprises in store on Sunday. It is going to be, no matter what, a very good show. Now here I want to tell you about a crazy coincidence that happened here in Northeast Ohio. There were two cousins who were born on the same day. Well, those two cousins just had babies of their own on the same day. So let me walk you through this. Their names are Michael Christopher and Vince Petit, and their moms were sisters. So they got pregnant at the same time, gave birth to both of them on the same day, September 17th, 1983. Well, now fast forward to this week, Michael and Vince both had wives who were pregnant. Michael with the second child for the family, Vince with the first child for the family. Now they're 38 years old, and their wives gave birth to their babies on the same day. Michael's wife, Haley, gave birth to Marco David Christopher. That's their second child. And Vincent's wife, Jamie, gave birth to their first child, Lainey Elizabeth Petit. That was on Monday, August 23rd at the Cleveland Clinic. And by the way, the two guys, Michael and Vincent, they're best friends. They've been raised as best friends. They've been raised more like brothers their entire lives. They've got the same group of friends, the same hobbies. They were both best man in each other's wedding to these women who just gave birth to babies on the same day. And they're encouraging their kids as they grow up to embrace it and hopefully to be as close as they were. What a fun coincidence. And one more story to let you know about before we go here. This one, not so fun for everyone involved. There was a guy who was recently at an Akron Rubber Ducks minor league baseball game, and minor league baseball games can be very charming, right? You see fun celebrations on the scoreboard, usually reserved for like birthdays or anniversaries or engagements maybe. Well, these two guys, this one guy, took a different approach. His name is Tim, and he sent a message to Alyssa on the scoreboard at the Akron Rubber Ducks game. And it was first put out there by ESPN's Daniel Marulanda. And the message said, "Alyssa, this relationship is over. Tim." So I have a lot of questions about this. First, I want to know if this relationship was in such a state, how he got Alyssa to the game. And then what happened? Did he say, "Alyssa, I'm going to go grab some beers, but maybe look up at the scoreboard," and then run, and then she sees the message, and then he never comes back? Just so many questions. Now, a representative from the Akron Rubber Ducks, the creative services coordinator, Jack Haynes, confirmed to 3 News, yeah, the message is legitimate. It did go up on the board, and it only cost $5 to do it, by the way, just $5. But he couldn't identify the people involved, either Tim or Alyssa, because they don't ask for any kind of ID when they put these shout-outs up on the board. But he did say, yeah, it was only $5. And they're saying, hey, maybe our fans can help. So if you know who Alyssa or Tim are, let us know. DM me, _Stephanie Haney on Twitter and Instagram. I would love to hear from Tim why he went this route. I would love to hear from Alyssa what she thinks about it and both sides of the story, because, you know, when it comes to breakups, there are 3 sides to every story. Person A, person B, and the truth. And the truth is usually somewhere in the middle. Pretty shady, though. That's it for your 3 News Now update today for Wednesday, August 25th. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I will see you back here tomorrow with more 3 News Now.